Dearest John, your first letter brought back from the trail by Wood's courier has finally reached me today. And as I write in answer, your presence fills the room. How long it's been since our parting, and how often I thought of that last evening in St. Louis, just before you started on your journey.
Get a move on, it's over.
Oh. There's a rubber boat in there.
You heard the lieutenant. Treat his baby careful.
Jessie.
Please don't scold me, John.
I'm not going to scold you, my dearest, but you knew I didn't want you to come down here.
I know, my darling. But, oh, John, it's going to be such a long expedition. I had to see you one last time.
With you and me, there will never be a last time.
John, I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what?
I don't know this country you're going into. The West. It's so big and unknown.
Yes, it is big. But it cannot remain unknown. That's why I must map it and chart it so... My darling, that's what this whole expedition is about, remember? And, Jessie, you mustn't be afraid. Not now. It wouldn't do for both of us to be.
Both of us?
Yes, both of us. And with the worst possible kind of fear. The fear of failure. Oh. Jessie, you know how long I've looked forward to this expedition. And, well, now that it's come, I don't know. What if I should fail?
Oh, my dearest one, you won't fail. You have a great destiny, John Charles Fremont. I knew that the first minute I met you.
Hey, Lieutenant!
Yes, Cassidy?
Let's get moving. We're loaded and ready to go.
I'll be with you in a minute. Jessie.
Don't say it. Let's never say goodbye. John, pick a star. What's that one?
Well, that's Aldebaran. Not a very romantic name, is it?
Doesn't need a name. Now it's ours. When you're gone, I'll watch it. And I know that wherever you are, you'll be watching it too. Already I have reread your letter many times, and each word brings me closer to you. I seem to hear your voice, to share in your exciting adventures. Even as I write, I pause to read again of the trials you encountered.
At Call Landing, which is the last outpost of civilization and the real starting point of all the trails to the west,
Is that all? Not quite, Mr. Lieutenant. Me and you's got something to talk about. Ever since we left St. Louis, we've been hearing about engine trouble up ahead.
Yes?
Well, you see, me and my men ain't engine fighters. That is, not for no $1 a day we ain't.
Mr. Cassidy, you knew what to expect when you signed on.
Sure, but not fighting engines. Not on what you're paying us.
You signed a government contract.
Huh. The Army and government contracts may be all right back in the States, but these here's the territories.
I see. And just what would it take to make Indian fighters out of you?
You see now, suppose maybe you would offer us $2 a day.
Mr. Cassidy, you signed a government contract to convey me and my material to Oregon. You signed on for $1 a day. Now you think you have me in a position where you can force me to double your pay. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Cassidy. I wouldn't have you or one of your river rats on my expedition. And get out! Don't let me catch one of you on this dock as long as there's a piece of government equipment here. And don't think I'm trapped. I'll get to Oregon if I have to carry all of this equipment on my back.
Pardon, monsieur. That was beautiful. Such a rawhide thing I have not heard for some time.
Do you want a job?
No, monsieur.
I didn't mean for you to carry the equipment. I only want you to watch it.
As la jeunesse will watch.
Good. I'm John C. Fremont.
Enchanté.
I'll be right back. Going into town to recruit some new men.
I told you I never had such a rawhide thing in such a long time.
Hey, soldier, come on over here.
Sit here, if you have a mind to, Lieutenant.
Thank you. I'm John C. Fremont.
Kit Carson.
Well, this is the first good luck I've had on this trip. I was hoping I'd run into you.
Sooner or later out here, you'd be bound to. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a guide, Mr. Carson. Guide, men, mules, and horses.
What's the Army want with mountain men?
I'm in charge of a surveying expedition to Oregon.
That's a long walk. What for?
To map this section of the country for the settlers who'll be coming out here.
What's the need for maps? Anybody wants to go out that ways. Maybe a dozen different mountain men like me can guide them.
I'm sure you could, Mr. Carson, but I'll wager you couldn't make a map.
That's right. I don't need one neither.
You don't, but they do. That's why every inch of this country must be mapped and charted, so that anybody who wants to, can load his family into a wagon and find his way to the other end of this country.
You make it sound real pretty, Lieutenant. But even if you're right, I'm afraid you come to the wrong place to get men.
Why do you say that?
Well, a feller named Jerome, boss trader in these parts. The men sell him their furs for what he thinks they're worth. Every man you take away from here means that much less money in Cass's pocket. Cass owns just about everything in sight, and what he don't own, he figures belongs to him anyways.
And you?
I never belonged to nobody, and I don't figure on starting with Jerome.
Well, Mr. Carson, I rather feel that this expedition is a little more important than your Jerome's pocketbook. My government feels the same way.
Out here, government ain't no more important than a cricket chirp. It's every man for himself. And besides...
Would someone ask me to sit?
Oh, of course. I'm John C. Fremont.
Hello, Lila.
I am Lila.
Now, how do you do, Lila? Sit.
You, new here, no?
Lieutenant, when I said everything in Call Landing belongs to Cass Jerome, I meant everything.
What'd he say? That scare you?
Well, not exactly, no, but you see, I was sent out here on a government expedition, not to antagonize civilians.
You tend to be here long?
Well, that depends.
You should. Many interesting things to do in Call Landing.
I'm sure there are.
Maybe you'd like me to tell you about some.
What do you think you're doing?
Cass, I do nothing.
You call it nothing? Crawling all over this tin soldier? I told you what I was going to do with you if I ever caught you making eyes at anyone else. You look like you're ready for another lesson.
I think that's enough.
Stay out in it, Lieutenant.
What did you say? I talk to you, Sonny. You listen, do you hear?
You take your hands off that uniform.
Why, you store dummy. Ah! You want to live? Use it.
Forgot this, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Are you still looking for a guide?
I am.
Well, I can't read or write, but I reckon if you was to put my name on one of them contracts, I could make my mark. Let me see now. About how many men do you figure you're gonna need?
Say 20 would do it.
Well, why don't you just walk back in that saloon there and sign them up?
Thought you told me that Cass Jerome runs Call Landing.
Once the man gets whooped out here, he ain't Big Beaver on the dam no more. I reckon you might say you are.
So we started, Jesse. And I realize now that this is to be a far greater challenge than I had ever imagined. But if we are to bring people information about this vast land out west, every possible trail must be carefully charted. Trails which, up to now, have been recorded only in the memories of a few mountain men. I only hope my years of study in geology and topography will enable me to justify the trust placed in me by our government. We are opening the way for the settlers who will come after us, for those who will live on the land and make it green and growing. For their sakes, I must survey mountains and plains never before charted by man. Every inch of the land must be measured, and all the different climatic conditions carefully analyzed. Botany specimens must be collected, and tests of the soil must regularly be made. Each day took us farther into the wild, uncharted country, which only the Indians and mountain men know intimately.
Coming in for grub, Lieutenant?
In a minute, Kit.
What good's that thing?
You ever been down that way, Kit?
Nope, never had no cause to. Why?
Well, in case you do, that particular mountain happens to be 4,500 feet, give or take a few.
You're joking me. You ain't been no closer than that mountain than me.
I don't have to, Kit.
You mean you tell by that thing?
Oh, that thing tells me.
Lieutenant, I seen you whip Cass Jerome back in Cochran. That give me a healthy respect for you. But out here, ain't but one way to get to know the land, and that's to walk on it. Feel of it, smell it, touch it, and then remember it. Right now, my belly's telling me it's grub time.
Something wrong, Kit?
Something ain't right. Crutcher should have been back 2 hours ago.
Oui, monsieur. There is a feeling.
I'm going to look for him.
You men stay close together.
Later. Now we gotta see where them Indians are.
We can't leave him like that.
Monsieur Lieutenant, there is nothing we can do for him either.
Better take us a look-see, Lieutenant. Kit, how's your nose?
Yeah. No squaws, no children.
War party?
Yeah. They got the trail to Fort Laramie stoppered up. They're sitting on the water. We need to get to Laramie. And they know it.
And may Almighty God take him unto himself. Amen.
Lieutenant, ain't none of the canteens got no more water than this.
And them Sioux waiting for us to try to take some, eh?
We try to get water, they pick us off, same as they did Crutcher.
Kit, tell me something. Why must we use that trail by the lake?
For good reason. Down south is killing country.
How about north?
North. Worse than south. Even the Indians scared of it.
That'd be in our favor, wouldn't it?
Monsieur Lieutenant, have you ever been in Elk country? No water, not a drop. The sun, she shine hard like crazy. The dust, she choke.
There ain't a drop of water from here to Laramie that ways.
Look over there. See that strata formation on those rocks? It could only have been caused by a river that cut through those cliffs and fed that lake.
Mon Lieutenant, that was perhaps a long time ago, but there is no river today.
The lake's still there, isn't it? Then it has to be fed from someplace. I say it's being fed by that same river.
But we don't get it, Lieutenant. If there ain't no river to be seen, then where is it?
Underground. Believe me, we'll find water up north on higher ground.
I gived you my word back in Call Landing. I ain't never gived it, thought I kept it. You say north, we go north. Ain't no wonder even the Indians stay clear. This is hell country.
Lieutenant, the men, they have stopped.
Looks like for good this time.
You have something to say?
We ain't come so far in, we can't still get back out. But if we go on in this valley, our bones...
All right, leave if you want to. But if one man touches any of that equipment, he'll not go forward or back. Now move.
Lieutenant, I told you once the man gets whooped out here, he's done. Don't make no difference how he's whooped. You ain't sure about that water, are you?
I'm 90% sure.
Then we better pray to the Almighty for the other 10.
Fresh, green. Salt grass. Kit, get some of your men and dig here.
Right, Lieutenant.
All is well?
All quiet.
Kit.
Huh?
The lieutenant. He is one fine voyageur, no?
Yeah. He'd make a pretty good mountain man.
And so the first big challenge at least has been met. And I think I've won the respect of Kit Carson and the men. There will, of course, be new dangers and new challenges to be met each day. I can only wonder what the next will be. But you are not to worry. The thought of you and your love gives me comfort and strength. And it will help me to have at least a small part in the building of this country and making it great and strong. Meanwhile, I see our star shining down upon me as I write. And I know that you are watching it too.